Hi team, welcome to episode 3. Today's topic is recovery.
It's a big one, it's an important one.
Well, it could go along a bit long this. So this is basically what recovery you can do, because there's a lot.
There's a lot.
And a lot of you are thinking, well yeah, we just stretch. So much more to that.
Oh yeah, stretching. I'll write that one down.
Oh, it's good I'm here. Okay, so fundamentally, yes, you should be stretching. When should you stretch?
I don't think you should do it before you train.
No.
Other than unless you're going to do it with the movement of which you're about to do.
Mobility.
Stretching and mobility and flexibility, I think, should be done on separate days as separate workouts in themselves, rather than during your normal workouts. It's just going to take up too much time.
I agree. I would say mobilisation for your session.
Yeah. Sort of incorporate it in like a warm up, or as I think it can be in like a dynamic type of warm up.
Definitely dynamic.
You can do it during, if, like for example, if you're looking. Alright, let's just say you just smashed out a set of 20 on a leg press, and then you go in and hold a deep squat position for a minute. I think that will benefit you because it's going to completely open up all the muscle fibres and the hips. But I would choose. I would decide.
I think it would get complicated.
Yeah. I'm not suggesting you do it after everything, but it probably would lead to some more hypertrophy if you did a set of something on chest or whatever, and then you held and you did some flies and then held the stretch for a minute at the end.
Hypertrophy, by the way, is muscle building.
Yeah.
But yeah, so stretching at the end of the session, yes, people do it, and that's fine. If you've got time, great. But yeah, I think as Jake says, you can stretch anywhere, anytime, and a lot of you do need to, because a lot of you do this a lot, and don't move enough. Yeah.
You can train your abs every day as well, at home.
Yeah. Other than stretching?
The biggest one has to be sleep, isn't it? If you're not, you don't grow when you're in the gym.
No.
You get smaller and weaker in the gym. You grow, not necessarily physically grow, but you progress in whatever way when you're sleeping and eating and resting and chilling out.
Your muscles are getting broken down in the gym.
Yeah.
They're getting ripped apart, essentially. And so, he's mentioned nutrition, sleep. What was the other one? Did he remember?
Massage.
Those things are going to rebuild your body, and that's what recovery ultimately is. Sleep is a massive one. It doesn't, we're talking sleep for gym recovery or training recovery, but for your brain, anxiety, depression, any of those things, if you're not getting enough sleep, then you're not letting your body recover itself.
Yeah, you won't be able to function in any way. It's an evolutionary thing that we have to
do.
You can't not sleep.
There's people that say that they can function on 4 hours sleep. Yes, you can get up in the morning and go do things, but you're not functioning properly.
No.
You're looking at 6 to 10 hours sleep.
I mean, I would say if you can get away with not limiting the amount of sleep that you have, just sleep as much as your body needs to.
Yes.
If it's a case of I need to get up and an alarm needs to be set,
then
fine.
Fair enough. Yeah.
If it's a case of I had 14 hours of sleep last night
because I could.
then you obviously needed it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So don't cut it short if you don't need to.
I tend to do that on a Sunday, for example, because it's the only day I don't have to wake up early. I'll go to bed early enough to get as much sleep as possible.
Yeah, so I don't like lounging in bed for too long, because it's like, if I can set an alarm, even if I don't need to be up for like 8, half 8, it's like that's 2-3 hours extra up. I could get another meal or 2 in that time.
Yeah, so that brings us on to
there is a reason for that.
Nutrition.
For me. And water. A lot of people don't drink enough water, or any water. I don't like how it tastes. And my response every time is, we do not like oxygen either.
Do you not like air?
You need that fundamentally in life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about if I put some sweetener in it? No. No, just have.
Just drink your water, guys. Yeah, get enough water, getting the right fuel. Food is big. Protein is your recovery for your muscles.
Protein's what builds the muscles.
Yeah, and then your carbohydrates, fats, obviously somebody get to get your energy intake up.
But carbs also will make your body fuller and bigger as well. So if you're trying to get big, you're not having carbs, it's not going to happen.
So all you guys out there that are wanting to get
big and get shredded,
yeah, you need to eat.
There might be one person out of 100,000 that can do that, but you know, it's not.
Genetics can play a part, but that's very rare for everyone. So eat.
Put it down to hard work rather than genetics.
For those of you that don't need to get big or get gains, you still need enough calories in your day to function. You know, we have a resting metabolic rate that we need to hit.
And it's definitely more than people think. People probably think it's only like 100. It's not. It's going to be 1,500. I think mine's about 2,800. Without doing anything in 24 hours, I'll burn 2,800 calories or so.
Mine's about 1,500.
So I have about 1,000 calorie every meal. About 5 meals a day.
So yeah, nutrition massive. Make sure you're eating to refuel the body, ready for, especially if you're training a lot.
Yeah. If you are training a lot and you're lifting weights and therefore tearing down muscle, and you can afford it, massage, sports massage, deep tissue massage, any sort of flushing out any toxins and stuff in the muscle to rebuild, to get blood back in there.
So
if you can, definitely try to get some sort of massage. Maybe start off with once a month and then twice a month, sort of fortnightly, maybe weekly if you can. It get quite costly, but again, you have to prioritise. Is my training and my recovery important enough in my life for me to justify spending 30, 40, 50 quid a session? If it's
bit like a personal trainer,
exactly.
Is it warranted? Yeah. So for me, I go fortnightly to Kinetic Therapies, who are based in Finch Hampstead. It's actually a former colleague of ours, or current colleague, really, actually. Yeah. So amazing sports massage there. Yeah. But yeah, I do that fortnightly because the benefits are so great for me. That I know that I'll train better because of it. Yeah. And
your muscles will recover much quicker if they're not all tight and tense and knotted, and it takes so much stress off the joints if the muscles are working freely how they should do.
And
as well.
Even if you're not training, if anything, those people need sports massage as much, if not more, because you're sitting still, not doing much, and you need to be released.
Then,
you know, so it benefits everyone. It's not just those that train, but there's benefits as to why you're doing it either way. So definitely those things.
As well as recovery workouts as well. So even if it's considered like, today's a rest day, but you're short of time for an hour. If you can I'm not suggesting you go to the gym necessarily, but you could go and just do some super light stuff just to get yourself moving, just to get blood flowing. You're not going to tire yourself out. It should be minor enough for you to not need to then recover from that as well. Because bear in mind, everything you start doing, you have to recover from. And you don't want it to be too much, whereas you put that in, so you have to pull something else out. No. That they can enhance your training as well, because yes, you can blood flow, joint, muscle sort of movement and mobilisation and stuff. And that doesn't have to last the full length that a normal session would. That could be half an hour max, 20 minutes. You know, if you've got a few things at home, just do it's a recovery day, and then do some bodyweight squats, some sit-ups, some press-ups.
Just to get the body moving. And
go for a half-hour walk. You're laughing. Walking, of which is actually another good one.
Active rest, So I'll probably jump on the bike now and again just to get the legs going. Make sure I always get a walk in all the time, keep moving. I think massage, if you can't afford massage, by the way, there are other ways. So foam rolling.
Yeah, it's not as effective though.
No.
I don't think.
But if that's what you've got to do, that's what you've got to do.
Some sort of rolling, or if you can get some big, heavy slab of iron, cylindrical death to roll on you.
Jake has those.
Tempering. That's brutal. But that works even better because it's a constant weight on you rather than you being the weight on it, on the roller.
I think you mentioned hot-cold therapy to me.
And saunas and that sort of stuff.
Saunas, ice baths.
Good for the blood, sort of blood pressure.
A lot of professionals will do that kind of therapy to quicken recovery.
Yeah.
So I've never really done it. I've never really done that kind of experience.
No,
I will. I've got the facilities to do that at my current gym that I've just started at. So something I'm going to add in to see if that helps benefit me. So I'll let you know how I get on.
Yeah. I mean, in recovery like that is obviously so important, because if you can't recover from something, then you're not going to be ready and primed to do it again, and then you're going to underperform, and then that's going to compile until you've had so little recovery that you just overworked.
I think that time, isn't it? Give yourself time to be ready for the next session.
And I think that's a pitfall that the beginners fall into, because they think, oh, I'm loving this, I'm going to train every day, super hard every day, and then they wear themselves out and make themselves ill, and then they're out of the game for 2 or 3 weeks, and they're like, oh,
and then they don't do
I'm not doing that again.
I think that's one of my biggest things that I ever said in inductions was we do an induction, we'd finish, and they'd go, right, I'm going to come back in tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'd go, don't do that. Come back in 2 days' time. And then don't come in until 2 days after that. When you're at the beginning, like, the effect on your body that it'll have
it's a shock.
Is a shock to the system.
Yeah.
Which is what happens to, like, we've come out of lockdown and we've gone back, and if we'd gone in with the same...
Yeah, I took 2 weeks of just doing stuff.
Just gradually build yourself in, rather, because we'd be crippled as well. So
a lot of people, I think, though, who worry too much about overtraining don't train nowhere near hard enough for it to ever affect them anyway. So, I mean,
definitely.
But
yeah, the amount of people I know that have got ill, and then they turn up to their second induction with you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, how did you get on?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I came 5 times that week, went to two classes afterwards,
I've been out for 5
and I went
runs.
for a swim.
Yeah.
And I went, and how did that go? And they're like, I was ill for a week. And you're like, because you weren't.
Yeah, because
you've done something that you're not used to. You've overtrained. You probably wasn't sleeping. You didn't fuel your body for it. You didn't probably drink enough water for it.
Not fueling your body.
So all those things have then combined into you going, well, I can't actually turn up to the gym for the second week. You turned up to your second induction though, which is very rare. So well done.
They're obviously persevering
somewhere.
Yeah.
They feel like they need to come back and tell you it. So.
Then other simple things, just like that's completely non-physical. So like sitting, reading, and listening to music, and
that's recovery of this body
of the brain muscle.
But it needs recovery as well.
Yeah.
And that's where that sleep is obviously important. Food is obviously important.
You grow when you recover. That's the end of it.
You need to repair to grow.
Exactly.
No, you don't do it in the gym. You destroy yourself in the gym.
Yep.
And then you rebuild in the time between the gym, and then you do it all over again. And sounds repetitive,
it's a vicious circle.
That's how it works. And if you do the right things, like athletes out there don't rave on about recovery because they want you to stretch more.
Because it doesn't make good content say about
stretching is not fun.
Today I did not much.
You're welcome.
But it's benefit. You have to do it.
And if you need some ideas on stretches, there's some on my Instagram page. There's a little highlights thing, so click on it, and there's some stretches on there. Also on my YouTube page, there is some stretch videos, so on the bodyweight blast. So that's all at home. You don't need any equipment, maybe a chair.
Whoa.
So push out.
Chair.
Sorry about that. But yeah, so you can utilise those things if you need a little stretch session. They're like 20 minutes long, so nice and easy. And they're with some ab sessions as well, so you could do both on the same day.
Yeah, I think abs is something that gets neglected, that I think should be trained every day, regardless of who you are, what you do, because it's just. Yeah, pretty much it. I mean,
you need a good core to do pretty much everything.
Yeah, it'll take anyway lower back pain as well if you have strong abs.
Definitely.
But yeah. Alright.
Cool.
Is
that it?
Yeah.
Okay guys,
right.
Well that was our video all about recovery.
Yes.
If you have any questions or queries, then give us a comment in the comments section below.
Or just send us a DM as well. Obviously we'll get back to you as soon as. Thanks for tuning in.
See you later.